My name is Ethan Cole, and a year ago, I thought signing the divorce papers would finally free me from the woman who'd turned my life into a storm of lies. But I never imagined that 12 months later, she'd come back, not with an apology, not with regret, but with a question that would leave me speechless. A year ago, my marriage ended like a car crash you could see coming but couldn't stop. My wife, Lena, had been my world for 5 years. We met in college. She was bright, ambitious, the kind of woman who made every room she entered feel warmer. At least that's what I believed. When we got married, I was just starting my construction business. It wasn't glamorous, but I worked day and night to build something from nothing. Lena said she loved that about me, my drive, my discipline. But what she really loved, I later realized, was the lifestyle that came with it once I succeeded. By our 4th year together, my company was pulling in millions. We bought a house overlooking Lake Tahoe, a Mercedes for her, and I finally felt like I'd given her the life she deserved. But the more I gave, the less she seemed to care. Late nights became business dinners. Weekend getaways turned into networking trips. And her phone, always locked, always face down. The night everything shattered started with a simple mistake. Lena had left her laptop open while she went to shower. Her iMessage app was still on the screen. And there it was, a message from a man named "He can't wait for you to be mine" completely. My heart sank. I clicked. What I saw was enough to destroy everything I'd built in one moment. Hotel reservations, private photos, and messages that made it clear this had been going on for months. When she came out of the shower, I didn't yell. I just asked quietly, "Who's AD?" Her face drained of color. Then she tried the oldest lie in the book. "Ethan, it's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like, my wife in love with another man. And not just any man. Adrian Dalton, my business partner. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was professional, financial, personal. Adrian had access to my accounts, my contracts, my investors. Together, they weren't just destroying my marriage. They were planning to take my company too. 3 weeks later, I filed for divorce. She walked away with half of what I'd built. Half. And she did it with a smile that told me she thought she'd won. Adrian and Lena moved to Los Angeles, started their own firm using my stolen client list, and made headlines for a while. I stayed silent. Everyone told me to move on, rebuild, forget. But revenge, quiet, patient revenge, became my purpose. I didn't want to destroy them out of anger. I wanted them to destroy themselves. So I started watching, not them directly, but the moves they made. Their company, Dalton and Reeves, grew fast, but too fast. They took shortcuts, falsified reports, overpromised to investors. I recognized every trick because I'd built the foundation they were trying to copy. So I built something new, EC Developments. And I made sure to keep my name out of the media. Meanwhile, I quietly partnered with 2 of their biggest investors, promising them better returns, legally, cleanly. Within 8 months, Dalton and Reeves began to bleed. Investors pulled out. Client comprendre. And then one day, Adrian's name appeared in the business papers, accused of financial misconduct. I didn't even need to lift a finger. His arrogance and Lena's greed had done all the work for me. Exactly 1 year after our divorce, I was having lunch with a new partner when I got a text. It was from an unknown number, but I knew that number by heart. "Ethan, can we meet? Just once. Please." Against my better judgment, I agreed. Curiosity, I suppose. Or maybe I wanted to see what she'd become. We met at the same cafe where we'd first talked about marriage years ago. She arrived looking nothing like the woman I'd once loved. The glow was gone, the confidence replaced by nervous energy. Her eyes darted, searching for the right words. "Thank you for meeting me," she said softly. "I know I'm the last person you want to see." I just nodded, waiting. She hesitated, then said something I'll never forget. "Ethan, if you could go back, if you knew everything that happened, would you still have married me?" It wasn't a question I was prepared for. For a second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered the nights I worked myself to exhaustion while she lied to my face. I remembered how she signed those divorce papers smiling, knowing she'd taken half my life. And I remembered the man she betrayed me with, now facing federal charges for fraud. So I looked at her, and said quietly, "Yes, I would have married you again." Her eyes widened in shock. "You would?" I leaned forward, because I needed to learn what betrayal looks like up close. I needed to understand what greed can do to love. And because without you, Lena, I'd never have become the man I am today. She didn't speak for a long moment. Then tears welled up in her eyes, the kind of tears that come not from guilt, but from realization. I'd already heard from mutual friends what she'd been through. After Adrian's arrest, she tried to start over, but her name was tied to his company. No firm in California would hire her. She'd sold her car, moved into a small apartment, and started working part-time in an art studio. She'd gone from private jets to bus rides, all in less than a year. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry," she whispered finally. "I thought I was trading up. I didn't realize I was trading everything." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. She studied me. The new suit, the calm in my voice, the quiet confidence she used to mock me for. Then she asked one last thing, the question that truly left me stunned. "Do you ever miss me?" For a second, I almost smiled. "Miss you?" I said softly. "No, but I remember you. Every time I see someone who mistakes love for opportunity." She nodded slowly, realizing there was no bridge left to rebuild. When she walked away that day, I knew it was truly over, not just legally, but emotionally. 6 months later, I read online that Lena had left the country. Some said she was living in Spain. Others said she'd changed her name. Adrian, on the other hand, was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. As for me, EC Developments became one of the fastest-growing firms on the East Coast. I bought a house overlooking the same lake where our old one stood. Except this time, the peace was real. Sometimes at night, I look out over the water and think about how life comes full circle. You can't control betrayal. You can't stop people from lying. But you can control what you do after they do. My revenge wasn't about hurting her. It was about proving to myself that no one, not even the person I loved most, could define my worth. So, when my ex-wife asked if I'd still have married her, yes, I would have. Because some lessons are worth the pain they come with. And the best revenge isn't destroying the person who broke you. It's becoming someone they could never reach again. She thought she ended my life when she walked away. But a year later, when she came back with a question, she realized I was already living the answer.